Okay. Ready?
And
whenever you're ready.
Well, if you stop cutting me off.
Interrupt you. Yeah, whenever you. Sorry.
Hi, I'm Larry Saperstein, and I am joined today by my insanely cute,
Oh my goodness.
my stupendously hilarious,
Please go on.
my ever loyal and lovely co-host, Jacob Bellotti.
Hello.
And
loyal like a dog or like a person?
Loyal like a loving partner should be.
Okay. All right. Okay, I'll take that. Well, welcome.
And welcome to Let's Talk About That.
All systems are a go.
Talking database activated.
Begin in 3, 2, 1.
Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about that. Let's talk about what? Let's talk about who? Let's talk about me. Let's talk about you. Let's talk about that.
Girl, I cannot believe we are talking about that.
Wait, what are we talking about?
Let's talk about that.
Wow. This is a podcast and we're finally here recording it.
I'm really excited to be here with you.
It took a lot to get us to where we are right now, recording episode 1.
It did. And if you're watching this on video, just know that this set that we have put together here was truly a labor of love.
Well, it was a labor. It was definitely a labor. We did tear up your apartment a bit. I think I ruined a bit of your carpet, but
yeah.
You know.
What apartment? This is the studio.
Oh, right. Of course. We're in a protected studio within a walls in a warehouse in Van Nuys.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're in Sylmar, girl.
Yeah.
We're up in Sylmar. I have a special surprise for you.
A surprise?
That I brought to celebrate the start.
Oh my God! Well, for the record, this is actually a surprise because
this is a surprise. I didn't mention this at all.
No.
But I felt like, if we were gonna start a podcast, we needed to, have a little fun. So.
What was that?
Bruh.
Oh my goodness.
We have dozens of sounds at our disposal here.
Was that a wet fart?
It was a wet fart. But look, we have.
Oh my God. What kind of cheesy ass podcast are we making?
I hope that you can hear these on the microphone.
Probably not. I kept telling you to move your iPad.
I also love that every 5 sounds I play, I get an ad.
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh.
I can't believe you pulled that out. I was wondering because I told you to move the iPad and yet,
I know, and I didn't.
And you didn't move the iPad. Okay.
But I wanted to bring a special, christening gift.
Well, I like that you did that. I don't know how it's a gift for me, but that's great.
What is this one? This one is an avocado.
Okay.
I'm not sure what the sound is.
Free shavakadoo.
Oh, it's a vine. Free shavakadoo.
I can't believe that this is how we're starting episode 1.
Hi, welcome to Chili's.
Oh my gosh, I could do this for an hour.
We're not even 5 minutes in and you're already sidetracked.
Yeah.
This is unbelievable.
Wait.
Wow. Well, for those of you who are listening, this is a podcast where we're going to be talking about all things that. It's true. That's what we're talking about.
Let's talk about that.
Yeah. And basically that is kind of intentionally broad, I would say, maybe conceived with that in mind, that we could really be talking about anything, but we're going to have lots of special guests throughout our episodes.
Yeah, we intend to broaden this up and get people talking about
That. Yeah.
Really?
That's really the goal here.
I mean, what more is there to say?
I'm going to get very self-conscious about how much we say the word that.
Yeah.
But, that's, I guess, part of the job.
Yeah, well, here we are.
So let's talk about us.
Yeah, let's talk about us.
Why don't you start?
Okay, I mean...
Who are you? Who are you? What are you doing here? And why are you in my house?
This is my house, actually. No,
That's
this
true.
is the studio.
This is the studio.
Well, you know me.
I know, but, I'm trying to give you a little help here so that people can understand who you are as we go into this endeavor that is for listeners.
I mean, I'm an actor.
Uh-huh.
I'm a creative.
Who isn't these days?
Who isn't an actor? We're all acting. We're born naked and the rest is drag.
I guess so.
I'm a director these days.
Yeah.
I've been working on some directing projects.
I know you have been, and it's been very impressive to watch because
Thank
I
you.
haven't seen any of it.
Well, I'm keeping it a surprise to you, honey, because I want it to be a surprise when you see the show this week.
No, I know.
So I've been working on a directing project with my comedy group, which is called Quick and Funny Musicals, and we perform at UCB.
UCB. What does
Yeah.
UCB stand for?
It stands for Upright Citizens Brigade.
Oh, it sounds a little Les Mis,
Yeah, I'm not really sure what it means, but I just know that it was started by like Amy Poehler or something like that.
Ready for the barricades, girl.
Yeah.
I'm here.
I mean, some of you might know me from High School Musical, the musical, the series, the musical, the series.
Yes.
The series, the musical on
Right.
Disney Plus.
Also, it was a musical that was a series.
Yeah, it was a musical that was a movie that was a musical that
Yes.
then became a series with a musical in it.
Now, was it a movie?
It was a movie first. Now, some people have done
Yeah.
the musical as their musical,
Yeah.
which is
Well,
sort
I
of what the show
actually,
is.
the only thing I knew you from when I met you was First Wives Club.
Right, the BET Plus original.
The BET Plus original, where you played a store clerk.
Yeah, I had like 4 lines.
You did, and you
With
killed
Michelle
it.
Buteau.
Who is lovely, by the way.
Have you met her?
I have met her.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's wonderful.
Yeah, she was really nice, actually. I remember that I was living in Brooklyn at the time. This is when I was still in New York City.
Yeah.
And we filmed in New York, and she lived like not that far away from me. She only lived like maybe 6 or 7 blocks like away from me in Brooklyn. And the shoot for some reason was an overnight shoot.
Yeah.
And so we filmed, my call time was maybe like 6 p.m. And we filmed until like 2 o'clock in the morning,
Right.
And she was one of the leads of the show. So she had transportation. She had a car that was bringing her back to Brooklyn. And they weren't giving me that for some reason.
Well, it's because you're not important.
Yeah, at the time I wasn't that important. Although they did say they would reimburse me for an Uber, but regardless, she offered that I like go in the car with her back to our neighborhood because we lived like right in the same neighborhood, and I thought that was so sweet.
And did you?
I did.
Oh,
Yeah.
there you
We took the car together back to Brooklyn.
Well, there you go.
And that's my Michelle Buteau.
You make friends with
memory.
Michelle Buteau, and you get a ride home.
Yeah, that's true.
There you go.
And now I bet if she saw me, she would have no clue who I am.
Yes. So I feel like we've learned a lot about you in this.
Yeah,
few seconds.
I could talk more about myself if you'd like.
I'd prefer if you didn't. I get enough of that outside of the podcast.
Yeah. Let's talk about you.
Yeah. Well, I'm a person. I do live on the planet Earth. I am a writer, producer, creative, if that's the term we're going to use.
Well, we're all creative, honey.
Well, I guess so. I wrote a book. I just
You
finished
did write a
writing a
book.
book. And, I'm writing a play currently. Mm-hmm. We're doing this podcast. I'm kind of all over the place doing projects everywhere.
Yeah, I'm really excited for your book. I mean, it's still in first stages.
Yes.
But I just feel like how many people, they say they're going to write a book
yeah.
and then they don't write a book. And you said you were going to write a book and then you wrote a damn book.
Well, guess what, bitch? I wrote a fucking book.
Guess what, bitch?
I wrote a book, okay?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's exciting. It was something that like I had been thinking about for a while, and it took me, by the way, a full year to write.
I know.
It took me like a long time to write it.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of happy now that it's like done. It's on the page, and now I'm just like editing and doing things to it. But it is a full ass novel. That shit is like 440 something pages.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
crazy. And I also know nothing about the book, by the way.
Yes, I have not let you read it, and that is because I want it to be where I want it to be before I let you see it, because I don't want you to think,
I understand.
that like I'm untalented and horrible.
I'm choosing to not take it personally.
Does it offend you that you haven't read the book?
No, I'm not much of a reader anyway. The thing is that like
That's true.
you will give me that book and it will take me like 2 months to read. So I'm not going to read it twice.
Girl, you've been reading Wicked for like 8 weeks now.
I have. I've been reading the novel of Wicked.
Yeah, I know.
Which is, I really love it. I mean, this is the reason I'm reading it is because we went and we saw it on Broadway recently.
Yes.
We just did a whole trip.
Yes. And we're definitely about to get into that. But I feel like first we should probably disclose the fact that we are in a relationship.
Yes, we're in a relationship.
Yes.
So, if you're listening along with us, you're going to be getting the inside info. I just kind of had this realization that we are probably putting our whole entire relationship on blast for the foreseeable future.
Probably, yeah. That's kind of what it is when you're on an audio medium where you're talking about things in your life.
Yeah, but
with the person that you're sharing your life with.
yeah.
But
I also think that's just like being alive in 2024, right?
Yeah, and in fact, I wanted to use this public platform to grill you on where you think our relationship is at.
Jacob. Our relationship is in a wonderful place.
I think so too.
And that is all I have to say about that.
Okay.
So let's talk about something else, girl.
Okay, all right. I was just using it as a setup. Well, let's talk about that. So we took our trip. Let's get into it.
Let's talk about it.
That's really the point of this podcast, right? Is we're talking about that. So let's talk about it, girl. We went to the East Coast.
Yeah, we did. So we both live in California, in LA.
Yes.
But we're both from the East Coast. I'm from New York. You're from New Jersey. New Jersey.
Nobody talks like
New
that.
Jersey.
You know that nobody talks like that.
I'm from New Jersey.
Nobody says that.
Hey, you want a pasta and pizza?
We're going to have to cut the tapes real quick, girl, because we're going to have some words off camera. But
and it was lovely.
And there he got it. That's it, folks. We've talked about that. It was lovely. You heard it.
It was. Was it not lovely?
It was lovely. But I feel like there's a lot missing from that.
Well, of course. I'm just saying we had a lovely time. I mean, we started off with my family. You met my whole entire family.
I did. Like all of them.
Yeah.
I met your cousins.
You met my cousins. You met my grandma.
I know.
We saw Wicked with my grandma.
Yes. And I had met your parents before, like, but this is the first time, like, I was staying at their home, and meeting, like, extended members of your family and meeting your horse.
Yes. Oh my God. The horse.
I mean, let's talk about that.
Let's talk about that. Okay. So, well, first I want to just like clarify that. So my father is disabled.
Yes.
And he's a physical disability. So the reason that we have a miniature horse on Long Island.
We're going to have to post a picture of this horse, by the way, because he's the cutest.
Well, he
thing.
has his own Instagram account.
I know. And of course, we'll have to tag him.
Yeah, his name is BB King.
Yes.
And his Instagram account is at BB King Service Horse.
Yes, and we're at Let's Talk About That Pod, where you can check out the link to at Service Horse BB King.
Yeah, we'll post the link.
Yeah.
So the whole thing was that there's only two types of animals that are federally recognized as service animals, and that's dogs
and you.
And I am of service, honey.
Okay, BB King.
Dogs and miniature horses.
Yeah.
And so it just made the most sense in our family to get a miniature horse because my dad is quite young and horses have a longer lifespan. They're also better for the type of physical mobility issues that my dad has. He needs to be able to put pressure on things and have something support his weight while he's moving and walking, which a dog can't really do. Dogs are more agile, better for retrieving things and getting things, and that's not really what my dad needs. So we got this horse, but I will say I'm one of the only people that I know that has this situation at home.
Absolutely. I mean, it was definitely the first time I have ever watched TV with a horse.
He did so my house is a split level, right?
Yeah.
So there's the upstairs area which he can't get it to because he actually can walk up the stairs. He has.
Oh my god!
But it's such an endeavor that it's not really worth.
He was just
trying.
clomping up them steps.
Well, it takes him an hour. He has to figure it out. It does. I'm totally serious.
It's fun. No, it's funny to me because there is maybe 8 steps to get up to the second level.
Yeah, well, it's 5 steps maybe, and then a level, and then 5 more steps.
Yeah.
And so yeah, he can get up there, but
he was watching TV with us, which I thought was the most adorable thing.
He was hanging out with us in the downstairs area, which has a living room kind of area, and it connects to the outside.
Right.
So it's not a basement; it's on the level of the outside. So he can get in there. And my mom likes to take him inside when it's extremely cold or when it's raining, bad weather. And she likes to just spend time with him. My mom has a very close relationship with this animal, I will say.
I feel like I have a very close relationship with this animal.
You have a close relationship with my grandma, girl.
That is true. Your grandma and I are connected.
Yeah.
Okay. We were sitting down there knitting together.
You were, yeah. Well, yeah, and so my grandma and my mom both knit.
Right.
And so my mom taught you how to knit. I have this wonderful video of my mom teaching you how to knit, which was so cute.
She did. She did teach me how to knit, and honestly, I think I might pursue it.
You should. I mean, our friend Steven knit a whole sweater.
That's right.
And the other day shows up to our house with a full sweater, and we're like, where'd you get that sweater?
And it was a complicated sweater. He had different colors.
There was a trim.
Yeah.
So.
And he just started 3 months ago or whatever.
So that's what you could become, Jacob.
Okay. Well, maybe I'll be knitting us sweaters that we'll wear on the
knitting
podcast.
During the podcast.
That would be fun. We're just sitting here knitting while we do all this.
An activity.
Yeah. Women Who Knit. That's the new name of the podcast. But we had a great time in Long Island.
Yeah. Well, and we saw Wicked with my grandma.
Yes, we did.
Which, by the way, she retained none of it.
We walked out of Wicked.
Yeah.
And she was like, who was Elphaba?
Yeah. She looked she looks in the playbill and she's reading the playbill and she's like, which one was Elphaba? I'm like, that was the lead. It's Elphaba.
Yeah.
And that was who the whole show was about.
I identify with her so much. I really do. I think we have a lot in common, and I do love her very dearly.
Now, your grandma, on the other hand,
yes,
she is sharp.
She is.
She would retain the whole show of Wicked.
I mean, she is she is very Diane Keaton-esque. Mm-hmm. She has that energy, mm-hmm. and she's very knows everything about everything, which is like amazing.
Yeah, I mean, we got to spend some time with your grandma in New Jersey, and we went to her house.
Yes, which is a living museum.
Yeah, she has like an art collection.
Yeah.
Remind me like exactly what it is, because I don't really. I know that it's like Native American art, but I don't know all the specifics.
Yes. Well, so she used to own a store in Long Island called Origins,
Excuse me, on Long Island.
On Long Island called Origins. It was in Great Neck, and she had it maybe in like the 70s and 80s.
Okay.
And maybe the 60s. But she was
Wow, I thought it was like much more recent than that. I thought she had it all the way until like the 2000s.
No. I don't think it went that long, because she moved to New Jersey by like 2000, I think.
Okay.
But anyway, it was like she loved going to New Mexico. You know, she was in like Forrest Fenn's circle, who's like a famous.
Yeah, she was talking to me like I knew exactly who that was, and I was just kind of like,
he's a very famous dude.
Famous for what?
Being like an archaeologist and like collector and stuff, and he had the most famous thing about him was the Fenn treasure. He had the Fenn treasure. He hid this like treasure worth millions somewhere in the mountains in America, and put out these public clues to where it was, and people for decades would like go trying to find this treasure. It was like a poem. He put out like a poem that was the clues to where the treasure was buried. And just actually like a couple years ago, somebody found it.
But he was dead already.
No, I think he was alive, and then he died.
that was his like magnum opus. He was like, once this treasure is found, I will pass on.
That's what he stayed alive for, was for someone to find it. But that was like a very famous. They did a BuzzFeed Unsolved about like, it was like very in the zeitgeist. You know?
I didn't know it was that involved.
Yeah, but anyway, so my grandma was like in his circle, and so she became this like big collector of like art and stuff, and and she's very about like that she's going to donate all of this.
Right.
Like, it's not like, this is not to be sold. This is not like, to gain wealth or anything. Like, this is like purely for like preserving this art. And she did say that she will be donating it to the Princeton Art Collection once,
That is crazy.
Yeah.
I can't wait in 20 years for us to go to the Princeton Art Collection and have a whole section with her
stuff. Yeah.
Native
I mean, she has
American
like
art.
thousands of years old baskets and like things that were like insane to have in a house.
Yeah, we were holding a basket that was from like the year of like 1680 or something like that.
No,
and it
we're
was
we're holding pieces of paper that were written 400 years ago. And I was like, oh my God.
I felt like we shouldn't have been touching that stuff.
Yeah. But, we did. So if you ever see that art in the Princeton Art Collection, just know that our hands have touched it. Mm-hmm. There you go. Adding value.
Yeah. I should have signed it.
Yeah. Girl, that we are going to get slammed by some art preservation person about
Oh God,
this.
I would never, I just want to say that, I would never compromise the integrity of
we were
a
very
historical
careful.
piece of art.
We were very careful about it, and but yeah, so you spent time with my family as well.
Yeah. Your mom has a new dog.
She
So
does.
this is the first time you were meeting the dog, yeah?
It was the first time I was meeting him. His name's Milo. He's a golden retriever.
Golden Retriever. That is your mom's pride and joy.
He sure is. Fuck the kids.
Yeah.
It's the dog.
And one day we woke up and came upstairs, and he had taken the biggest shit on the carpet.
He sure did.
And your mom hadn't noticed it yet. She was like doing other stuff.
we were staying in the basement at my mom's place, which is nicer than it sounds to say that we were staying in the basement.
It was a finished basement.
Yeah, it was a finished basement. And we just we were tired. It was like we were just waking up, having our morning ritual ready for some breakfast. We opened the door, and there is a fat shit just sitting there right on the carpet, right in front of us.
Yeah. And then your mom was like, Oh God. Oh man. Oh no. And it took her like 20 minutes to clean it up.
Oh my God, you did something so cute yesterday.
Oh.
You were like, something came up that was, you were doing your Duolingo. You were doing your Duolingo, and it was like a really complicated sentence that was said to you, and you went, whoa. And I thought that was
Well,
so
it was
cute.
like a long sentence
Yeah.
that I had to translate, and I was like, and it just sounded like sounds.
Yeah.
And I was like, whoa.
It was very cute. But we spent time with both of our families, and then we had the meeting of the families, the meeting
Yes.
of the minds, and
Yeah.
our grandmas got into a heated debate
Yes,
about a necklace.
about a necklace.
Girl, it was Yalta up in here.
Yeah.
We'll have to post a picture of them meeting.
Yeah,
because
it was the conference of Yalta. It
Right.
was like it felt like we were sending our national representatives to debate
Right.
in a neutral zone.
Right. And it was funny because your grandma is from Brooklyn, right? She grew up
Yeah.
in Brooklyn, and my grandma grew up in the Bronx.
Yeah, so the
And they're both
divisions
Jewish.
run deep.
Both Jewish.
Yeah, yeah.
And so there's this really long-standing history to be discussed between those two.
Yeah, it was cute though.
It was adorable. It was like one of my favorite things, and it is one of my favorite pictures, and I have to confess to you that I do look at it pretty often.
Aw. I will say though, like I was totally on your grandma's side.
Absolutely. Well, it was funny because my grandma had this like very custom, very specific, each piece handcrafted necklace, and then your grandma goes, "I think I got that at Zara's."
I think it was Bloomingdale's.
Bloomingdale's.
She goes, "Yeah, I have that exact necklace," and your grandma was like,
Well, I hate to say this, but you don't.
and then she was like, "No, I got it at Bloomingdale's."
I'm like, girl,
No, you didn't.
Bloomingdale's.
Oh,
Yeah, I
But-
really enjoyed that. And we had
Yeah,
a
it was
nice
fun.
dinner with everybody. You
we
know?
did. Your
You
mom
know?
cooked for us.
It was nice that our parents like met. Well, my mom met your parents.
Mm-hmm. And also, your mom set the most beautiful table.
Well, that is like a whole thing because my mom she's one of those Facebook moms who is like very, into the Facebook. It's like, she's always like, why haven't you seen my thing on Messenger? I'm like, Mom, I don't look at Messenger.
Yeah, my mom does that too. My mom goes on Facebook Live because she sells Pampered Chef. And then she's like, I have to do a live about it. I'm like, Mom, 4 people are watching this Facebook Live. Like,
Yeah.
you don't need to do a live. I still don't quite understand the reason behind the Facebook Lives. And she also posts about literally every single thing.
I think
that
that's
she
very
does.
endearing, though. I like that, and I love your mom, and I love.
I love my mom too. I'm just saying, I think it's wild
Yes.
what these Facebook moms get up to.
Yes. Well, my Facebook mom has been very invested in these tablescaping groups. She's in like 4
Yes.
she's in 4 different tablescaping groups where it's like people post their ideas for tablescaping and whatever. And she is like vehemently picked this up as a hobby.
Well, and I didn't quite realize that. Like, you had said, oh, my mom's really into tablescaping. Like,
Yeah.
just beware. And then when we got there, it was like more
Girl,
than I could have imagined.
It was like Marseille, like it was Versailles. I said Marseille, it's a different city. It was like Versailles.
Is Marseille a real place?
Yes, Marseille is a city in France.
Oh,
But Versailles is a palace
Palace.
in France.
Yes, I know.
It was decadent. It was over the top. It had, custom patterns.
Well,
and
she
whatever.
had custom name cards for everyone.
Yes.
She wrote out everybody's name
She
and
had
previously assigned the seating.
There was seating that was assigned.
Yeah.
We had to sit where we were told to sit. It was all very intentional, though. She places people intentionally.
Yeah, she put our grandmas on opposite corners.
Yeah. She puts people intentionally to spark conversations because, she's really all about the debate.
Uh-huh.
That's really what the tablescaping comes down to is creating a community.
It's a conversation piece.
Yes, it is. It is. And And it was really impressive. I actually was not expecting it to be that ornate and over the top, but it was.
I loved it. And then while we were there, actually, she changed out the theme.
Yes, she switched
Because
themes.
when we arrived, it was like a Valentine's Day theme.
Right.
And then by the time we left, it was like St. Patrick's Day theme.
Yes, she's very on top of her holidays. You know,
Yeah.
once the holiday's over, it's a new theme. So
Yeah.
get ready for Passover, girl.
Oh my gosh. I just can't believe that there is a Facebook group for
There's multiple.
tablescaping.
There's multiple.
Yeah, I can't believe that there's 4 Facebook groups, if not more, for tablescaping.
Tablescaping.
Moms who tablescape.
Yeah. What's wrong with that? I love that. I think
There's
that's
nothing wrong
wonderful.
with it. It really shows you the power of the internet.
Yeah. People are connected, and that's really what it's all about at the end of the day, isn't it?
It's about connection.
Yeah. And then with my mom, we went to see Sweeney Todd on Broadway.
Yes,
We
attend the
attended
tale of Sweeney Todd.
Okay, well, I don't want to get sued, so stop right there. But,
That's enough. I can sing that.
but we did attend the tale.
Yeah, I actually recently saw some criticism of that show on social media somewhere. I don't
Really?
remember. I saw people that weren't super living for the current cast. And I was like,
Okay, well, what do they know? What do they know? They're on the internet.
yeah, I was like, we didn't really feel that way. And trust me, if there's something we don't like,
It's not good.
we'll get up in it.
Yeah.
But I mean, okay, that's not fair to say that if there's something that we don't like, that definitively means that it's not good. Because I think we have a harsh eye.
I don't know if it's a harsh eye so much as it is a taste level. I sound like a cunt, don't I? I gotta stop. But Sweeney Todd, I thought, was phenomenal. Miss Sutton Foster.
No, I thought it was great. I thought the visual aspect of it was gorgeous.
Okay, but what about Sutton Foster?
I mean, I thought she was wonderful. I thought Sutton Foster was great. But, anytime I see a show, the first thing that I am really attaching myself to is the visual side of it, because that's what I did in college.
That's what you majored in was lighting design. But
Mm-hmm.
but that's that's a great part of it. But also I like to look at the performances when I go to a show. That's generally my main focus.
Well,
outside of how
it's
gorgeous
hard
it
for me
looks.
to watch performances because I always just think no one's really ever going to be better than me. You know what I mean?
Right. So Sutton Foster was better than you. How about that? We could start there.
I could do that. The worst pies in London.
Me pies! Me pies! That's you.
And
Sutton
one for the
Foster-
gentleman.
Sutton Foster was great. The Heartstopper kid was good, I thought. Aaron
Yeah, Joe Locke.
Tveit was fine.
He was fine. I look up to Aaron Tveit a lot because when I was in high school, my junior year, the show was Catch Me If You Can,
Okay.
and I played Frank Abagnale Jr., which Aaron Tveit originated on Broadway.
Sure.
So I actually don't think I've ever seen him in anything.
Is this going to turn into a Broadway podcast? I'm going to have to dust up knowledge if it is.
No, I mean, we'll have Broadway tangents.
Okay. All right. That's fair.
But so I was really looking forward to seeing him in something. I really don't know if I had ever seen him live in a show.
Yeah.
I thought he was good,
Yeah, he was good. But I think Sutton Foster was really the standout.
Yeah, I think she stole the show. I mean, there was definitely a clear choice with this production because the trend has kept on in the casting of this show.
Yeah.
That for whatever reason, they went younger with the 2 lead roles. In the original production of this show, those roles are played by much older actors.
Okay, well, I don't care about that because I was getting my life. By the way, we were sitting in the best Broadway seats I have ever sat
We
in
were
my
close. We were close.
life. We were in the 5th row.
Which, to be fair, closer isn't always better on Broadway. I'll say that.
That's true, but I think in this show it was.
I thought it was good. It's where you wanted to be to see Sutton Foster's performance, and for that,
Well, because I
was happy
originally
to be
saw
there.
her in Anything Goes, which she won a Tony for.
Mm-hmm.
And that was one of those oh my God, I'm gay. This is amazing moments for me. You know, the first one was Wicked when I saw Wicked with the original cast 20 years ago. Thank you. I'll bring that up as often as I please.
See, I think that's crazy that you would even remember.
I remember Miss Idina Menzel lifting right up into that air with that little broom in her hand and belting out those high notes. Girl, that will never leave my brain. In fact, it's playing in my brain right now.
You went into that show a straight 5-year-old.
Right.
And you left a gay 5-year-old.
A gay 6-year-old.
You gained a year.
I gained a year. It was unbelievable. But yes, but then Anything Goes with Sutton Foster was another one of those moments for me where I had that exact process going on in my brain. And
so you went in a gay 12-year-old and you came out a flaming gay 13-year-old.
Actually 15. As you get older, gay years go up. Right. That's why when we're 30, we're unattractive and old to everybody.
Right. When we're 30, we're 80.
Right. So those were like the reasons that I felt we needed to be at this performance of Sweeney Todd with Sutton Foster.
Yeah.
And we sat in the perfect location to watch Sutton Foster tear it up on that stage. We need to get her on the podcast, I think.
Yes.
She'd be a
Lofty
good guest.
goals.
Is that lofty?
Sutton, hey, Sutton, if you're listening to our very first episode of Let's Talk About That with Jacob Bellotti and Larry Saperstein.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's flipped in our title, so you have to say, let's talk about that with Larry Saperstein and Jacob Bellotti.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Let's talk about that with Larry Saperstein and Jacob Bellotti.
Yeah.
Sutton, if you're listening.
We'd love you.
Yeah. Or anyone that knows Sutton.
If you know Sutton, get her.
Maybe you're Sutton's, driver. Sutton's cleaning person.
Hey.
I mean, she probably has the cleaning person.
Maybe.
And maybe they're listening to this podcast right now.
Maybe they are. And maybe we can get Sutton on the podcast.
Yeah.
Her and Catherine Hahn, I'd say, are my dreams. I'm just going to put that out at the beginning here.
That's good.
That is like, I want to like put that out so that if we ever hit that, it's like the most incredible.
Well, we can call back to this moment.
Right. And we can pull up this audio clip of
and we could do it Housewives style where we put like the video in desaturated.
Right. We're going to desaturate
and it
the
goes
video
whoosh.
And there'll be a whoosh and a dramatic ping.
3 years ago.
And there's going to be a tss
yeah.
after I say it. And then it'll come back to where we are.
That's lovely.
Thank you. Yes. If that's another thing about me, by the way, is I am very invested in the Housewives franchises. I've seen every episode of every franchise except Orange County because I refuse to watch racist white ladies scream at each other.
And you know what? Props to you, mama.
Thank you. Thank you.
You've gotten me into it as well.
Yes, and I got you into my favorite one, which is Potomac, The Real Housewives of Potomac.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I said, what's your favorite one?
And
I said Potomac. And I said I just started watching that one because I'm like, I'm not going to waste all this other time watching the ones that aren't your favorite one.
Yeah, that is
I'm going to watch the one that's your favorite.
Yeah.
But I will say,
the ladies
brilliant.
are turning it out. They're working it fiercely.
I'm still catching up. Like where I'm at in the story, it's still like 2019.
Right.
I still have like 4 more years of Housewives content
and
to
isn't that brilliant?
Get through, but it's really heating up. Like literally in this last week.
I know you just watched the Monique Candace fight, which was a big deal.
And it feels like now all of a sudden like all hell has broken loose and it is just like fight after fight after fight up in there.
Right. But that's a great show. Let's talk about the trip again because I feel like I'd wanted to say a couple more things about it.
Okay, I'm sorry for getting you off track.
No, it's fine. And I love you dearly.
I love you too, honey.
Oh. Special moment. Special moment on the pod.
Oh, getting sentimental up on the pod.
Oh, my goodness. But we went to Syracuse, which is my alma mater. That's where I went to school to study the craft of, whatever the fuck this is. And we went to a banquet, and I got to show you around campus.
Yeah, that was wild for me, to be honest.
Yeah.
Because I went to school in New York City.
Mm-hmm.
So my experience was like so different than your experience even though like we didn't go to school that far away from each other.
No, we didn't.
We also learned that if we had both made like different choices, we would have gone to school together because we
Right.
both got accepted into the same program
At the same university.
at NYU, and we
Yeah.
didn't go.
Yeah. Okay, well, you just wanted to name drop NYU. But
NYU Tish.
I got into Princeton. No, we went to Syracuse for the radio banquet. I was a big part of the radio station there, and they have a big like alumni banquet every year. And I was there to speak on a panel. That was like kind of the reason that we had went, which was nice. You know, it was nice to like see the campus. It's already changed a bajillion times in the 5 years since I've been there, and you know, I thought it was really nice to show you that. It felt like special to show you that, but I also felt like I'm never gonna go there again.
Yeah, you were saying that. I will say it was cold as shit.
It was fucking cold.
It was. My balls were freezing off
I know.
up in Syracuse.
I know. Well, you know,
But in short bursts, I enjoyed it.
I did have a good time.
Yeah. I mean, I don't totally understand your perspective on like why you feel like you'll never want to go back.
It just felt like something I had. It's like I didn't know anybody who went there.
Right.
I didn't like the campus has already changed a lot. See, that's another thing. You went to like school in New York City,
Right.
and I know they like build new buildings and fix things up, but like the campus looked very different than what it looked like when I was there as a
Right.
student, which is why I was like, it felt like it wasn't for me anymore. It
Right.
felt like it was for a new group of people.
Yeah, like I mean, for me, it's totally different because I like don't even have a choice. Like I can't really ever see my school buildings again because, I mean, I can see the outsides of them, and we did, but I can't really go into those buildings,
Girl,
because
you're on
they're
their
all like.
Wikipedia's most famous page or whatever, a famous
I am
alumni page.
notable alumni.
You
on
could
their
get in if you
Wikipedia.
wanted to.
I guess I would need to like reach out to someone and get like a visitor pass, like a faculty member or
Yeah.
something. I would need to like reach out.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know. It's different because like a lot of my experiences at school were just kind of experiences that you have like living in New York, rather than like experiences that were specifically like at Pace University.
Right. Which is understandable, you know, because like Syracuse is very its own campus and New York is New York.
Right.
So it makes
Well, so
total sense.
and that's why it was like wild for me to see.
Like a campus experience.
Yeah, because I just don't have any frame of reference of like what that is like. But it seemed like it was cool. It seemed like I would have enjoyed it, I guess.
Yeah. Well, now you've seen it. Now you know what that was like. And
Yeah.
you know, I gave you the whole history and all of that because I was a tour guide when I was
Yeah.
in college.
The Hall of Languages.
Yes, the house of the Hall of Languages, honey. But we had a good time, and then so this was like the longest trip ever. By the way, we went
Yeah.
for like
3 weeks.
3 weeks, which felt longer than 3 weeks.
Yeah.
And
Well, and then after that, we went to the worst place in the world.
okay, well you got to be careful because if people are listening to this who are from that place, they are gonna come at us, girl.
Well, the worst place in the world, which is, of course,
Long
Las
Island.
Vegas.
Oh,
That was mean.
no, I did it for the joke. I'm sorry. I love Long Island. Las
No,
Vegas.
you don't. No,
Las
you don't. It's okay.
Vegas.
You don't have to love Long Island.
I enjoyed Long Island immensely.
It's okay.
I liked
fine.
it more than you do, so there you go.
Well, I liked Jersey more than you do.
That's also true and fair. We
I
ate
liked
a
Jersey
lot.
more than I was expecting.
We ate a lot.
I was eating so many carbs that by the end I was like, please give me a salad.
That's one of the things I love about our LA bubble is like
Yeah.
that we're only really exposed to like, you know, food that is from here and
Yeah, I mean, we
grown here.
generally eat a bit healthier just because that's what's made available to us because of like the culture of what's around us.
right.
Now,
but-
that being said, I do have McDonald's once a week.
Right, and Chipotle twice a week.
Yeah.
Are we really?
But other than that, kale smoothies, honey.
It's Fart City up in here, honey. But we spent another week with our families, and then we went to Las Vegas, Nevada.
The worst place in the world.
Okay, you can say that. I won't be the one to say that.
I hated everything about it.
Yeah, I mean, me too, but
Here's the thing that I hate the most about
but I've been
Las
to a lot
Vegas.
of terrible places. Let me just say that. So I don't know if it's the worst place
All
in
right.
the world.
But here's the thing that I hate the most about Las Vegas. And honestly, I'll admit that maybe I'm having a very visceral reaction because I was actually really looking forward to going there
Yeah.
because it seemed like it would be a lot of fun.
Right.
It's not.
No, it's not.
The thing that I hate the most about it is that everything you want to do, they figure out a way to charge you for every step of that activity.
Yes.
Right? So you're like, oh, we're going to go out tonight to a bar. Great. You have to take an Uber somehow, even though like you're on the Strip and you feel like you can walk there, but it's too far to actually get there in time.
The Strip is like 2 miles long, and I don't think people realize that who haven't been there.
Yeah, so unless you want to spend like 45 minutes walking, you have to take an Uber. That Uber is $30 just to go like half a mile up the road.
Or a Lyft. We're open to Lyft sponsorships too.
Yeah. Then you get there, you can't find it. Wherever you're trying to go, it's like buried deep in some like freaking casino.
Right.
And you can't find anything.
Yeah.
So that takes another 30 minutes.
Well, it's intentionally designed so that you can't find anything. That's the point. You're supposed to get lost.
Yeah, you're supposed to get lost and stay there forever and spend more money.
Right.
Then you go and they charge you $300 for champagne.
Yes.
And also they're like, okay, the card minimum at this table is $200. But then you like look on the menu and
You can get an item that's $150 and then an item that's $200.
right. So you have to buy at least 2 items that are $150 in order to like clear the minimum.
Right.
Which means you're spending $300 even though the minimum was only $200.
There's no combination of items that could get you to $200.
Right. So they gouge you there.
Yeah.
Then you're like, okay, whatever, we've been out, we're having fun. We're on our way home now. It's 2:00 in the morning.
Yeah.
Okay. The only food places that are open have now upcharged all of their food.
We got a fast food burger that was
Girl,
$21.
we went to Fat Burger. It was the only thing open. Fat Burger. It was 2:00 in the morning, maybe even later.
That being said, it was delicious. And if you're watching Fat Burger, we loved it.
It was 2:00 in the morning. It cost $53
Yes.
for 2 burgers
Yes.
and 2 fries. We didn't even get drinks.
Listen, I warned you about Las Vegas.
Also, there's no water in this whole city.
No, there's not. But I warned you about all of this. Before we went to Las
I
Vegas,
know.
I told you it is a horrible place. There is nothing fun about
And
it.
I didn't listen.
No, you didn't.
You
But
told me and I didn't listen.
It's true. And the reason we actually went to Vegas, and I feel like this is a big part of it,
Yes.
was for the Kylie Minogue residency.
Yes. Miss Kaylee Minogue.
Which she's my all-time, diva. Love her to death.
And she was phenomenal.
She
Really,
was
truly,
phenomenal.
she was phenomenal.
No, we did. We were sitting at a table. More money than should ever be spent was spent on these tickets. And she looked incredible. She performed incredibly.
Yeah, she was great.
And she was coming off of a week that was great. She had gotten a Barbie that week.
I know.
mean, how many people get a Barbie?
She
you
got in
know?
a Barbie. She performed with Madonna.
She performed at the BAFTAs in like the biggest spectacle I've ever seen on a live broadcast.
Which was in frickin' England.
Yes.
So she was in England, she was in LA,
She
and
was
then
with Madonna.
yeah, in LA,
Right.
and then somehow back in Vegas.
Back in Vegas for the show, and we were living.
Yeah, it was wonderful. We also knew one of the dancers.
We did. We got to say hello to Eric.
Yeah, Eric. We said hi, and we hung out with him for a little bit after the show, which was cool. But I didn't even fully realize that he was in the show.
Yeah.
Until
we saw him in the show.
we saw him, and I was like, oh my god! I knew that he had done some stuff with Kylie, but I didn't realize that it was like the Vegas show.
Right.
So that was really cool.
He'd be fun to have on the podcast at some point.
Yeah, we can get Eric on the podcast
Let's
to
put that
talk
in the
about
books.
Kylie.
Talk about Kylie Minogue. We need. I think we're gonna have to have a dedicated Kylie Minogue episode, just so you know. So.
Yeah, that's great. We can go through her whole discography.
Yeah, I'm just setting your expectations now for the things that I'm gonna want to talk about. And then we went to Drag Race Live the next night, which was fun.
Yeah.
We had a great time there.
Yeah, I mean, do you want to talk about your experience with the Kylie concert?
Oh, you mean
Your
how I got
your traumatic
a
experience?
full refund, honey?
You did get a full refund.
I think it's still too painful for me to talk about how we got to the point of needing a full refund.
Yeah.
I'm still not over that.
All right, we can footnote it for another
Sure.
time. But let's just say that we did get into the concert and we did have a wonderful time, but the experience was not as it was initially planned, and therefore, paid for, and therefore you were entitled to and did receive a full refund for the tickets.
Trust, you will be dealt with if you come for me when it comes to Kylie Minogue.
Yeah.
So there was not there was nothing in the world.
And you know what? We won't mention the ticket reseller company's name because we will accept a sponsorship from them.
Absolutely. We sure will. But this is what I will say about it. Never use StubHub. I'm going to say it
we
because
bleep it out.
Fuck the sponsorship.
Really?
Fuck the sponsorship from StubHub, girl. Fuck those people.
Now, that being said, Ticketmaster.
We love you.
We love you,
We love
Ticketmaster.
Ticketmaster. Never had a bad Ticketmaster experience in my life. But StubHub, you're on my fucking chopping block, bitch.
Wow. Yeah, honestly,
Harsh
though.
words. Can you I care about it. you
It's
know?
true. They really messed with our experience, and it was
They did.
not fun.
They did.
But I will say the people at the venue were very helpful.
Yes.
And got us in, and we had great seats, and we enjoyed the concert.
We did enjoy the concert, but there was a very harrowing hour there.
Yeah.
Where I was not feeling good.
Yeah, and I was really having to play the caretaker.
You were on Jacob control.
Yeah. I spent $20 on 2 bottles of water.
I love you so much.
Because you were like, I really need water right now, and they didn't have free water.
Yes, that's true.
In this place.
That's true.
So
that was
lovely.
like kind of our trip. That was like the end of it, and then we drove
Well, we also
back.
saw the Vegas live show. You were saying that, and then
Drag Race Live. We did
Sorry, that's
see
what I
it.
meant. The Drag Race Live show.
Yeah.
Which was amazing. Derek Barry entered from the ceiling.
Yes, Derek Barry is an incredible, talented performer. We love Derek.
I really loved that show. I thought that was such a wonderfully crafted drag / like drag race show. It was just like really well done, well written. It was very tight. The different numbers were cool. The different set pieces were cool. The outfits were cool. The lighting was cool.
Yeah, it was really fun and you know, a great show that I had absolutely nothing to do with.
Yeah. And you'd never seen it before.
No, never.
You're like
Ooh,
totally not
never.
affiliated.
Not affiliated in any way. So we did that, and then we came back to LA, and it's unbelievable to me the thought, because this was not long ago. This was recently. The thought to me that you are going back to the East Coast again.
I am going back.
In like a week.
Yeah, I'm going back to support my dear, darling friend.
Yes.
Mistress Olivia Rodrigo.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Mistress Isabel Brooks.
No. And she's playing at Madison Square Garden, which is like honestly pretty freaking cool. And so I'm going to see her.
Yeah, I'm glad you get to see your friends like that, like in places like that.
Yeah.
I think that's really cool.
And by the way, like, if you haven't been able to tell already by listening to this podcast, like, this is not a High School Musical podcast.
No.
But, you know, High School Musical was a big part of my life. And so I'm hoping that we can, you know, get High School Musical guests on here and be able to talk about some of that stuff in the future. But, like, yeah, I'm just really looking forward. I'm going with Julia
Lester,
who played Ashlyn on the show, my girlfriend character, and Joe and Frankie, who play Carlos and Seb,
Yes.
or Seb and Carlos, and yeah, I'm just like really looking forward to seeing her. I haven't seen Olivia in a really long time, and all the video that I've seen from this tour, like, it just looks so cool.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't seen any video from this tour. And
well, it's not even that, like, I mean, I don't necessarily know how it compares to like any other kind of show or anything like that, but like there's just something wild about like seeing this video, you know, seeing these videos of this person performing in an arena, right?
Yeah.
With like, you know, screens behind her, and at one point she's like flying on a moon.
yeah, that's the only thing I've seen. I saw it on Tim's story. Tim
Federle, the showrunner and creator of High School Musical.
Yeah.
High School Musical the series, not the original movies.
Right.
But you know, and it's just crazy to see those things and be like, I know that person.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I've spent like quality real time with that person.
You filmed a show with that person.
I've played Uno with that person. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like, you know, it's not a superficial thing or just like somebody that I know in passing. And it's so wild to see somebody like performing on that level with all of those people, you know, supporting her and cheering her on and showing up like for that concert experience.
Yeah.
And so I can't wait to just like be there and experience that. I think it'll be really cool.
Yeah, I'm so excited for you. I really enjoyed getting my invite.
Okay, well, I did invite you. That's not the truth, Ellen. You were invited.
I know, and we're probably gonna go in August.
Yeah, we might try to go again in LA to see her, but you didn't want to take off work again to go back to New York.
Yes.
And, you know, I'm specifically going back to New York because, like, it's Madison Square Garden. And, like, how could you miss your friend performing at Madison Square Garden, you know?
No, that's true. That's true. I thought one of the things I thought was cool that you had showed me one time was, like, the cards that y'all would write for each other, like, when you were, like, doing your seasons and stuff.
Oh, like the rap, you know, when we wrapped our seasons, like the cards.
Yeah, I thought those were really sweet.
Yeah, I have a card on my fridge, actually, that's like one time Olivia and Sophia, who played Gina, they baked everyone cookies.
Oh.
Well, okay, so like, you know, we filmed season 2 during COVID, which was like a really crazy, difficult time. And during that time, we were really spending a lot of time like with each other as a group. And we kind of were running out of things to do, honestly. So, I guess at one point in time they thought it would be fun to make cookies, and they like made cookies and left them for everyone's dressing room and gave everyone a personal note, and it just said like, "We love you when we bake these cookies, you know, to show you how much we love you." And I just thought that was so sweet, and I still have that note on my fridge.
I didn't realize that was on your fridge.
Yeah, I'll show you later.
Yeah, I'll have to take a look. When we get back from the studio to your apartment,
Yeah.
right? Or house. Sorry,
Yeah.
I'm confused.
Yes, right. My mansion.
Yes,
the mansion.
the Bel Air mansion.
Yes.
Yes. But that's really nice. I always thought that was really sweet.
Yeah. They're such a good group. I'm really, really grateful, especially like with some of the stuff we've been hearing about, you know, other people's experiences on kids shows, like not to get into it.
I was wondering if that was something you'd want to talk about.
You know, I don't want to talk about it too much, only because I don't really know that much about it. I don't know those people that have
Yeah.
had those experiences. And I really want to say, like, and I think it's worth saying, like, that was not my experience. I also wasn't a child on those shows. Like,
No.
I started High School Musical. I was already an adult. I was over the age of 18.
You were like 20. Right?
Yeah, there were people, Sophia, Olivia, others that were under the age of 18 when we started the show.
Right.
But that was not our experience at all with our show.
Yeah.
Like, we just had the most supportive people and like the best bosses. And our show was very different from those shows. And so I don't feel like I really can talk about those things because
Yeah.
I really don't know anything about what those people went through, and I don't even know any of the people involved.
Right.
But that being said, hearing those stories and hearing how harrowing some of those stories were, and are, and how scary those experiences must have been for those kids, like,
yeah.
it is nice to kind of be able to reflect and say, like, that actually wasn't my experience, and I'm really grateful, that
You were surrounded by
yeah.
a great group of people.
yeah.
Yeah.
And hopefully we'll get some of them on the pod.
Yeah, that'll be fun. I've only met a few of them at this point. But,
Yeah.
I feel like I know them all through you, just
Yeah.
from like,
Yeah, you'll probably see Julia this week.
Right.
I think she's going to come out to support my show.
Yes.
At UCB.
Which will have been long gone by the time
I know.
this is on the
we are
airwaves.
recording this pretty early, I would say.
Yeah.
But, we're trying things out here.
We're testing things. We're getting things moving. Watch,
Yeah.
there's gonna be like some breaking High School Musical like story like the
I
week
hope
that
not.
we're debuting, and then
Oh my gosh, I hope not. We'll have to keep tabs.
oh my God, you're already like nervous about that.
Yeah, that made me a little nervous.
Oh, God.
No, I mean there's nothing to.
You're
there's-
sweating, Mary.
There's nothing to say about it.
No, I didn't mean like a bad story. I mean just
Oh.
like some like huge High School Musical.
They're renewing us for season 6.
You're doing season 5
Yeah,
or whatever.
season 5. Well, believe it or not, we've done it.
Was that it?
I mean, I'm looking at the time, and it's been
quitting
an
time?
hour, girl.
It's quitting time? All right. Well, that was fun. Let's do it again next week.
Yeah, let's do it again next week. As a play out.
Well, before you even do the play out, and while
Okay.
you're pulling it up, I'll
Yeah,
cover time for you here.
Yeah.
You can find us at Let's Talk About That Pod on TikTok, on the Instagrams, on the YouTubes. All the links are in the description of this episode, by the way. And if you're already watching us, then you've already found the right place.
Yep.
You can email us with any questions, concerns, comments.
We're opening up the email.
I'm putting up the email, girl. Any inquiries? I mean, we're trying to get, what are we, Ticketmaster? We've talked about Lyft. We're putting all the sponsorships out there. Please email us at letstalkaboutthatpod@gmail.com.
Work.
Our people will be checking that continuously.
Yeah.
And by our
And,
people, it's, us.
And if you happen to hear this or see it on social media and you liked it, give it a like, share it with your friend.
Yeah.
And we're excited to get this thing started.
I think this was a pretty good premiere.
I think this was wonderful.
I think we've learned a lot today. I think we're exploring new topics.
Yeah.
I think people are connecting.
I'm really excited to do this with you, my dear.
I love you so much.
I love you too. Oh, just as I was about to do this, an ad came up. Okay. All right.
Oh, well, that was really... Okay, here, hold on. I'll rewind.
Okay.
Okay. I love you so much. You're so amazing.
I love you too, my dear. I'm very excited to do this with you.
I thought you were going to play the wet fart.
I could do that one too.
Yeah, most people don't know this about Larry. How about this for some insider tea? Gas City over here.
I
My
wish there was
God.
another fart sound. Wait, I want to see if there's another fart sound.
This is what we're doing here on the podcast.
It's worth it. It's worth it.
This is the content you're coming here for
Oh, I found the better fart sound.
every week. Every Monday, you can enjoy listening to these dulcet tones of farts, burps, and just all around gaseous. Ooh. All right. I'm Jacob Bellotti.
I'm Larry Saperstein.
And we'll see you next week on
Let's Talk About That.
Bye.
Bye.